Portimao in the rolling hills of the Portuguese Algarve, the venue for race 2 of the FIA World Endurance Championship. From the flat airfield of Sebring, we turn to the Portuguese roller coaster. Qualifying was intense in all 3 of our classes. By a whisker, Ben Keating claimed pole position in GTE Am in the Corvette, narrowly edging out Sarah Bovey and the 21 AF Corsa Ferrari. It was just as tied to the top in LMP2. Prema claiming pole position for the first time this season by 1,000th from Vector Sport. And in Hypercar, Toyota were the team to beat, but Porsche and Ferrari both had plenty to say about it. The new Hypercar crews are fast learning their machines, how to get the best out of them. After claiming pole in Sebring, the 50 Ferrari team spent more time on their race setup, but stung by that result in Sebring, the number 8 Toyota crew spent more time earning pole position.
Dos teus egrégios avós, que há de guiar-te à vitória, às armas, sobre a terra e sobre o mar. As armas, pela pátria lutar, contra os canhões marchar, marchar.
Make sure TC is 12-12, there was a spinner on the previous lap.
Brake balance 7 and shift 8. Brake balance 7, shift 8.
Was that better, James? With the waving lollipop?
1 minute to start the first of the formation laps. Please clear the grid immediately. Green flag, start of the formation lap. Start of the formation lap.
Okay, man, you're free to go.
We are ready to go green after 2 formation laps to warm the tyres. The charge down to turn 1 begins along the straight, then plunging downhill. The Toyotas already with the 50 car of Nicholas Nielsen between them, and around the outside goes the second fastest Toyota. Mike Conway takes the lead, and following him, James Collado in the Ferrari also gets by Sebastian Buemi. A cautious start by Buemi, the pole sitter. He's down to 3rd. It is Toyota Ferrari. Several cars got delayed and more going off there in the back in LMP2 and in GTE. And look at the Porsche of Lawrence Vantor around the Ferrari for 4th. He's trying to get by Buemi for 3rd. Can't quite squeeze in, but he's up to 4th place from 6th on the grid. It was a busy first corner as Conway goes around the outside. Nielsen tries to squeeze inside, doesn't find a way through though. There's the number 6 Porsche of Lawrence Vantor. Contact behind. Dane Cameron hit the back of the Peugeot. Just there, look. Off goes the Peugeot, off goes the Porsche and the caddy. James Collado under pressure now from Sebastian Buemi, the Toyota driver, flashing the headlights, looking down the inside into turn 1. No go there. But he is... Oh, mistake from Collado. Drives out wide and Buemi takes the place. Here's the battle for 4th place, the Ferrari on the attack. Nicholas Nielsen trying to get back past Lawrence Vantor in the Penske Porsche. American racing legend and team owner Roger Penske is here as well. And in his absence, the American arm of Penske Porsche won the IMSA race in Long Beach the previous day. LMP2 battle for first. Sean Gelael leading Dorian Pan, the 19-year-old French girl, in the 2nd place Prema car, really piling the pressure. There is the WRT team led by Vincent Voss. There's Prema, run by the Iron Lynx operation. Great race at the front of the LMP2 field, but neither of these were the top qualifiers. There was a big shake-up at the start. Here's the dive for 4th place. Is it going to stick? Yes, he does. Down the inside. Good move from Nicholas Nielsen in the number 50 Ferrari. He moves up to 4th, and back down to 5th goes the better of the Porsche duo. Battle for 2nd place in GTE Am now. Ben Keating, the pole sitter, and Sarah Bovey, who he just beat to the top spot in qualifying. Just ahead of them, though, is Diego Alessi. Now, he managed to squeeze through in the carnage at turn 4 on the opening lap without getting delayed, and he's got a lead of about 1.5 seconds over this battle. Mike Conway, the race leader for Toyota, moving into traffic in the GTE Am field. This is such a tough track to overtake on, even with the extra speed of the hypercars. In the mid and low speed corners, they have no grip advantage, even over a GT.
Dane, track limits warning, turn 1, previous lap.
You get 4 warnings, and then if you keep going off track, you will get a drive-through, so this is tough. Dane Cameron in the 6 Porsche under pressure now from Richard Westbrook in the Cadillac. Caddy made its debut like the Porsche did in Sebring a month earlier. There'll be 2 Cadillacs in Spa in a fortnight's time as they prepare for a 3-car entry at Le Mans. And right now, Richard Westbrook trying to find a way by the Porsche. Oh, trouble at the hairpin. That's the 88 Porsche. Now, what happened here? That black and orange car, I think, made contact with the back of Ryan Hardwick. Dorian Pan under pressure for 3rd place in LMP2. Here comes the United Autosports car of Guido van der Garde. He goes through to the light of teammate Ollie Jarvis, the 23 car, behind its sister, the 22 now, looking for the lead. It's WRT who lose out in traffic, and through goes the 22 car. Fantastic opportunistic driving by Ben Hanley to take the lead from Sean Gelael, and right behind Gelael in that red and white WRT is the red, white and blue of car number 23. This could be a United Autosports 1-2, despite the fact they didn't show much pace in qualifying. The team have really made good use of their driver selection, putting in their fastest guys at the start against the less well-ranked drivers in Prema and WRT, and now United march to the front, 1-2. Busy pit lane as all the LMP2 cars run out of fuel at the same time and need service. In comes Dorian Pash, who is in a strong top 4 position in the Prema racing car. And this is where the teams can make such a difference to the fortunes of their drivers by getting them through the pit lane as efficiently as possible.
It's always tricky at the start. You know, round here is notoriously difficult to follow. But the 22 United car was, you know, fantastic throughout the stint. We were just managing the fuel and the tyres a little bit, and yeah, but obviously we went forward, we were leading the stint. It's a long way to go, so it's a great start. The car feels fantastic, so big thanks to United for the opportunity, and yeah, let's see what we've got for the rest of the race.
Okay, mate, if you can let the sister car go, they are quicker at the moment.
They are not quicker. I have traffic. Sometimes you get up, sometimes you don't.
All right, mate, we have to open up the gap or you're going to hear me again.
James Collado feeling the pressure from his teammate Niklas Nielsen behind him. Needs to keep up the speed to stay third. Change for second place in GTE Am. Sarah Bovey ahead of Ben Keating. Oh, and here's how it happened. All the way down the straight, getting a good run out of corner 15, and just puts the car level on the inside line into turn 1. Through she goes.
I'm faster than Nicholas.
I see, man, I see. Let's just hang with him.
No!
Mate, when we're faster, we'll get by. They will let us by. It works both ways.
Well, nobody wants to give up track position, and especially not to a teammate, your closest rival in terms of performance. But James Collado has had to do so. Toyota 1-2, and it looks like a position change. Yes, there is. Sebastian Buemi, the pole sitter who was pushed down to third earlier on, has now been waved by Toyota into the lead ahead of Mike Conway. Trouble there with the Inter-Europol LMP2 car at the turn 5 hairpin. He didn't quite have the speed to get through, but Conway does now. Cadillac ready for their car to come in. Richard Westbrook chasing Nico Muller. Both of these cars were eased off in turn 1 by Dane Cameron's Porsche, don't forget. So they're still trying to recover from that loss of ground. There's the Peugeot bosses as into the pit lane comes the 7 Toyota from second place. So the first of our Hypercar stops just shy of an hour into the race, and Ferrari are on the pit lane as well. And look how little energy they had left. 1%, 0%. 94 Peugeot is in. The 93 car had to start from the pit lane because it had a power steering issue going out to the grid. So that car is already 2 laps adrift and out of the points. We now have so many hypercars, only the top 10 score points. It's not guaranteed you're going to get anything. Oh, fuel only for the Cadillac. And look at this, he's in between the Ferraris who came in third and fourth. So that is a great turnaround. Look, he came in 8th place. Into the pit lane. Oh, Richard Westbrook nearly rammed the back of the Peugeot and nearly got collected by an Aston Martin. Look at this. You come in as fast as you can, then get down to 60 Ks.
Massive flat spot front left. This tyre's not going to make it. It's
well, despite the flat spot, Richard Westbrook has moved ahead of Niklas Nielsen up to 4th, but down the inside comes the Dane. He's back to 4th place, putting Westbrook back into a Ferrari sandwich in 5th. The brutal sound of the Caddy V8 is a real fan favourite. Very different sounding Ferrari of James Collado right behind, but the 51 car seems to have the pace to get through as Westbrook drifts out wide, throws it at the apex, and through goes Collado. So he is now up to 5th, Westbrook back down to 6th position. I wonder if Cadillac can make that tyre last and another entire fuel stint. That's very nearly an hour with Richard Westbrook having his eyeballs shaken out.
Migration -1, and nurse the tire as much as you can. Critical for strategy, but keep us updated.
Well, they are saying to him, please try and keep it going. We need you to stay out. Riding on board with the 94 Peugeot, chasing Richard Westbrook out of turn 15 down the straight. And Westbrook's flat-spotted tyre will continue to lock up as he gets on the brakes every time. Through goes the Peugeot.
It's a good race so far for us on the 94. Nico did a really good double stint, you know. I'm pretty happy with the tires, with the behavior of the car. The pace is matching more or less the Cadillac and the Porsche, so that's good. We are in the game. We are doing a clean race so far, which is the target. So there's a few hours to go, but at least we are in the game, and definitely it's a step forward compared to spring.
Third place battle now. Laurens Vanthoor, the red and white Porsche, right behind him. Niklas Nielsen in the red and yellow Ferrari sends it down the inside. Vanthoor did not expect to see him coming in there, and that's a great move by Nielsen. Don't forget the Ferrari qualified on pole in Sebring, the season opener, its very first race, and then finished on the podium behind it. Oh, trouble for Toyota. Number 7 car on the dollies and being pulled back into the garage from second place. The first crack in Toyota's armoury this season. Now, what has happened here?
We're requested by the FIA to bring our drive shafts data together, so there's an issue apparently, and yeah, we have to repair it. That's why the car came in. There is no issue with performance or technically, so this is, yeah, comply with the regulations. That's it.
That's Laurens Vanthoor then back up to third place in the Porsche, but for how long? Because right behind him is James Collada, who also goes down the inside where Vanthoor was not expecting it. So Vanthoor from third down to fourth, then back up to third, now back down to fourth. That means that we now have 2 Ferraris in podium positions as the number 7 Toyota returns from the garage with a new entire left rear quarter. And it is out of the points. Nearly 12 minutes since it headed down pit road. United Autosports 1-2 from Prema. Then this battle for 6th position into Europol ahead of the 9 from Prema. And here's how it happened. Classic pass down into turn 5. Fabio Scherer in the green and yellow takes the place away from Philipp Urgan. Battle for the lead in GTE Am. It's all Ferrari. Diego Alessi's been leading since lap 1. Lila Wadu, look at this. The 22-year-old French driver, she took over the car in 5th position from starting driver Luis Perez Companc, and she now leads. What a stellar stint already from the youngster. Richard Westbrook has had to stop for tyres. He's now down to 7th ahead of the Glickenhaus. And 2 years ago when we first came here, Glickenhaus made their debut. Westbrook was one of the drivers then. Now he makes Cadillac's European debut. Second round of stops for Hypercar and Ferrari. Second and third. 2 cars on the podium right now. This is going even better than Sebring for the team in red. And all they need is for the number 8 Toyota to fall over. It could be glorious victory. Miguel Molina takes over the 50 car from Niklas Nielsen. And there will be a driver change in 51 as well. Porsche come in from second and third as the pit stops continue, going a fraction longer on fuel than Ferrari. Will that play a part at the end of this race? Because they can't quite run an hour on fuel, so everybody is going to look for a short stop at the end. Oh, it's close in the pit lane as LMP2 and GTE stop. Here is our leader, young Lilu Wadu. Second year in the championship, she did not get to race in Sebring because the car was crashed by Luis Perez Companc in the opening stint.
The car was very good. I can do something not bad. No, we will see after. I will jump in the car after Luis and we'll see what we can do.
Bet I go down as one of the GOATs, the greatest of all time. Look, bet I go down as one of the GOATs, the greatest of all time. Float like I'm Cassius. These hits ain't nothing to mess with. I come through, do damage. I go me a ham on the block. Lisa Laz with the shot. Mr. Mamba with the proc. Came through.
Oh, down into turn 1 comes the Toyota, and the 36 Alpine that had just gone by WRT for 7th gets pushed out of the way by the Toyota. All that hard work for no avail. The Alpine now back and dropping into the clutches of the 31 from WRT.
The bottom button in the pink row, press it. Press the bottom button in the pink row on the console. BBW reset. Copy that, man. The brakes are also very hot. The brakes are also very hot, so I need more lift and coast, man. Sorry. try the brake-by-wire reset again.
BBW, brake-by-wire. So it's an electronic system that helps the Ferrari harvest energy on its front axle. Meanwhile, Philipp Ergan and Phil Hansen united again with Prema. And this is the positions that they were fighting for earlier before the last round of pit stops. And Ergan comes right back at Hansen. So tough to get by anybody here. Look, they're struggling even to get by the Ferrari in front. It is hot work for everyone in the heat of Portugal. Louis Delatraz from WRT closing in on this little group. In fact, he's already jumped Phil Hansen. So he caught Hansen by surprise, and the United Autosport driver has lost rather than gained a spot. Hansen down to 7th place. His teammate leads. Here we go, though. Out of the final turn, he's got a fantastic run. He's got the outside line, that's the racing line. It'll have more grip, but more jeopardy going deep around the outside. And, oh, that was good driving by both men to survive there with no contact. Great to see a crowd here. We raced in Portimao 2 years ago behind closed doors during the COVID era. Now nearly 30,000 fans from all across Europe watching this fantastic action in all 3 classes. And in the blue United car, Phil Hansen has surged by Philipp Ergan, and Ergan under pressure from behind. Louis Delatraz for WRT sends it down the inside. It's breathless stuff wherever you look here in Portimao, but it hasn't been the cleanest. Phil Hansen here giving Louis Delatraz a short trip towards the gravel as he just takes all the road and a little bit more away from his rival. Bits of bodywork flying off the WRT car, but they seem to have survived. Here's the battle for 3rd place. Ferrari 2nd and 3rd right now, but Porsche trying to get in on the act with Kevin Est. Now, he may know that Giovinazzi's got a braking issue. The team have asked Antonio to try and keep the brakes cool. Well, that's hard to do when you're being attacked from behind, and through goes Kevin Est. So the Ferrari is losing out under braking, and that may not be good news. Roger Penske watches his car move up into a podium position as the Glickenhaus pits. They and Cadillac both out of sequence with the rest of the field. Richie Westwood had to do a short 2nd stint to get rid of his flat-spotted tyre.
I came up right underneath the Peugeot into the pits, and I felt like he overslowed. But anyway, I had to sort of take decisive action. I tried to avoid him and had a big lock-up. Obviously flat-spotted the tyres, didn't have time to react in the pit stop. And yeah, we got half a stint out of it, so hopefully it hasn't hurt us too bad, and we've got the same amount of stops as everyone else now.
Plenty of racing still to go as Antonio Giovinazzi stops. The team are going to remove some of the brake cooling duct blanking plates because look at the heat coming off those brakes. The Ferrari will have to carry that penalty through the rest of the race. Yiffy taking over from David Beckman in the 48 Jota car. The last time they will be running this LMP2, because in a fortnight in Spa, Jota will become the first customer team running a Porsche hypercar. It was a good stint by David Beckman. He chats there with team boss Sam Hignett and Antonio Felix da Costa, the local hero. Yiffy now heading out. Fresh tyres, stone cold, and Yiffy runs out wide. He's got no grip. When the tyres without tyre warmers this year come out of the pit lane, it is like driving on ice. You have to be very cautious, but they're desperately trying not to lose pace. Yiffy still vulnerable. Louis Delatraz on hot tyres, down the inside, takes the place away. He's up to 5th. Yiffy in the Hertz Team Jota car, down to 6th position. As far as their rivals are concerned, it doesn't matter where the 48 finishes. It's not a full season entry, so scores no points. On board with Yiffy. And there is the replay of the move at the turn 5 hairpin. Ferdy Habsburg likes that action. Into the pits, still in second place, the number 50 Ferrari. Let's hear from the man who started the race in this car, Niklas Nielsen.
The guys have been doing a massive job preparing the car for Sebring and even, you know, collecting all the data we took from Sebring and preparing the car for here. And I think we've done a really good step in terms of race pace, which was also the goal for this race. So, so far so good, and yeah, the car's performing well, so we can be happy at the moment.
Leader in the pits for Toyota, the number 8 car, and the number 6 Porsche as well. But as we get to the halfway mark in the 6 hours of Portimao, it is Toyota who still hold a strong lead here. And Ferrari in a good podium position. Look how slow even the Toyota is. It's an absolute hazard when you come out of the pit lane on stone cold tyres. Even a road car is going quicker. 111 laps over 510 kilometres in the books. We've gone green all the way through so far. It is Toyota, Ferrari, Porsche, Peugeot and Cadillac all in the top 7. United Autosports lead a massive fight in the LMP2 category, and the GTE Am battle could be anybody's. Right now, Iron Dames ahead of Corvette. Do not count out the Ferraris. Just D Station have fallen by the wayside so far. Vector Sport back on track after a long stop. On board with the Cadillac of Earl Bamber, right in front is the 5th place Peugeot Gustavo Menezes. Well, this car was launched in Monza last year, had its first race there after Le Mans, and they had a couple of top 4 finishes before the end of the season. A disaster for the team in Sebring, the season opener. They seem to be back on form here on a more traditional European circuit, but Earl Bamber sends it up the inside. The former Le Mans winner, taking no prisoners there, pounced at the first opportunity. Lead battle in GTE Am, Corvette versus Ferrari. Davide Rigon, former GTE Pro driver for Ferrari, and now in a 54 AF Corsa car, challenging Nicolas Varrone, the young Argentine, losing out a little, but, oh dear, shouldn't be overtaking if you have to use that much runoff area. I think he may be asked to give that position back. No, Corvette coming into the pit lane. He was on his in-lap anyway, so it is really to no avail. Phil Hansen, Robin Freins, Louis Della. We've been here before, haven't we? Louis Delatraz now dives to the inside of Robin Freins, who was behind him earlier on. They are back behind the 63 Prema car that was in the battle with them in the last set of stints. United Autosport leading from Prema. The 22 car ahead of these 2 WRT machines. And WRT, it looks like, being lined up to run BMW's hypercars next year. There's Thierry Tassar, Belgian racing legend, the man on the pit wall. Race leading number 8 Toyota, Ryo Hirakawa, remains in control of the race, nearly 3/4 a lap now ahead of the Ferrari in second place, with Porsche in third. 3 different brands on the podium now. Cadillac in 5th, ahead of the better of the 2 Peugeots in 6th spot. Ollie Jarvis leads after a full service, came in from the lead in the number 23 United Autosports in LMP2, but Phil Hansen has gone through in the 22 car, so that is now the leader, but they too need to stop for fuel in the next lap or so. '51 Ferrari, Antonio Giovinazzi has been working through the controls, the buttons and all the different functions on this car almost lap by lap to try and mitigate that front hybrid problem. Alessandro Pierguidi, the reigning GTE Pro World Champion with James Calado, the last GTE Pro World Champion with James Calado. He's going to have to try and keep this car alive for nearly 2.5 hours. I wonder what Antonio Giovinazzi has been able to tell the team.
Yeah, I think since lap 1 we had I already felt the pedal quite long, and then we had an issue with the BBW. So I was not just driving, I was you know, using the steering, all the buttons to try to react and to finish the 2 stint. We did it, but it was really hard. One of the hardest of my career, I would say. A lot of radio communication, and it was also really hot. So yeah, really happy from one side, but we are thinking still fighting for the podium, so we need to, you know, keep pushing and try to be there.
Formula One world champion, Indy 500 winner Jacques Villeneuve, waiting for his turn in the Floyd Vanderwall number 4 machine, in the top 10 right now. Great looking car, he had a strong debut in Sebring, and looks good here as well. Frenchman Tom Dillman started it, now Argentine Esteban Guerrieri at the helm.
Okay, mate, let's not get caught in the trap, though. He is going to be stopping soon. We can't kill these tires. We're going to try and go for a double, okay?
Alessandro Pierguidi being told to bide his time because the Penske Porsche number 5 of Fred Makovici needs to stop soon, but I think the Ferrari driver really feels he's losing a lot of time, even with that braking problem they've got on the 51 car. And there is Roger Penske watching the action from the garage and about to unlap himself is Kamui Kobayashi in the number 7 Toyota, 6 laps down on the leader after that sensor issue, and you see the brake dust coming off the front as Alessandro Pierguidi goes by the Porsche. Ferrari crew liking that action, closing in on 2/3 distance here in Portimao. Driver change for the 2nd placed Ferrari. And Antonio Fuoco, the man who put it on pole for the season opener in Sebring, he will take over from Miguel Molina. All trouble. This is Fred Mako on the way into the pits. He's been going very, very slowly. Is he going to make it? That is not the racetrack. That is actually the motorcycle racing pit lane, which we do not traditionally use, but it is a safe way to creep back in. This is big trouble for the number 5 Porsche. Number 6 in the pit lane. So both Porsches in on the same lap, or were supposed to be. Full service going on here for Andre Lotterer in Porsche number 6. Fresh tyres, full tank of gas. Oh, and there's the number 5 car, pulls in right in front. Lotterer has gone, but I think the number 5 Porsche is going back into the garage. Like Toyota and Ferrari, Porsche have one car with a problem, but another one running strongly.
I think we might see some fuel saving out there to make it a no splash at the end. So we'll see if we are better than our competitors, but so far I think we've done the perfect race for the performance we have in the car right now, and quite happy with what we've done. Let's see now the last 2 hours with Andre.
Right now it is 23 from United Autosport who leads in LMP2, Nicky Katzberg in the Corvette in GTE Am, but it is Brendan Hartley leading the race for Toyota number 8.
No power steering, no power steering.
Copy, no power steering, stand by.
That is very bad news. Hydraulic power steering on the Porsche, and that means not only does he not have assistance, he's actually fighting the fluid which is resisting his steering inputs. Christensen brings the car back to the team. They'll fuel it first, and then it will go back into the garage for repairs. Now they're taking the rear deck off the car. So they think that it's something that'll be easy to fix then. Maybe it's just an electrical connector.
We actually had we faced some problems since quite a while with the power steering, and then the problem became bigger and bigger. So now what we do is changing the power steering and the control unit to it. Takes unfortunately a little bit of time.
More trouble for Toyota.
Okay, stop the car and power cycle.
Yeah, I lost power, everything, suddenly.
Kamui Kobayashi stopping dead halfway into the pit lane. Now he's got the car back and to the team. Not the greatest day for the number 7 crew. They won in Sebring, they're the championship leaders, and they are just back in the points, but for how long? Great battles in GTE Am continue. The Iron Dames, this is Michelle Gatting now, She's taken over from Rahel Frey. They are still in a strong podium position, but in the 83 Ferrari on the inside, this is a big challenge. Alessia Rivera bumping over the curb on the inside, losing a little bit of traction. Wider line for Michelle Gatting means she's got a better run onto the straight. But Rivera is still there, side by side, down into the braking area. And Rivera is brave enough to hang on. And he moves into second. The race leader in GTE Am, Nikki Katzberg in the Corvette, about 14 seconds ahead. Ben Viscal with the red nose in sixth place. The gold car, Antonio Felix da Costa. Green and yellow, Fabio Scherer. Antonio, next time out in Spa, will be a Porsche Hypercar driver. He's already a Porsche Formula E factory driver. Now trying to make up for lost time after Yiffy Yi's middle stint. There are the Iron Dames. There's Will Stevens in the cap. He'll be back with the team next week. He raced in Sebring. Bent Viscal under pressure. Antonio Felix da Costa goes down the inside. Late. And Viscal runs out wide onto the marbles. Fabio Scherer might pounce here if he can get by the GR Porsche. He does. Take a look again. Tucks in behind the Ferrari. Antonio Felix da Costa trying to take advantage of the gap left by the faster car. Ben Viscal under pressure again at the hairpin. Well, it was only a matter of time. Fabio Scherer coming back at him and moves up into Europol into seventh place. 51 Ferrari from fourth position despite all of their travails. Oh my goodness! How much brake is left? Carbon brakes, carbon pads. So that is all friction material. Great to see so many fans here from across the globe in Portimao watching fantastic action. And it is United Autosport closing in on a 1-2 here. The 22 car Ben Hanley right behind Danny Kvyat in the 63 car from Prema. 23 leading for United Autosports. Brendan Hartley about to put a lap on the second place Ferrari. For the second race in succession, Toyota will lap the entire field. That's how high the benchmark is in the World Endurance Championship. Weaving as he's come out of the pits, Antonio Felix da Costa on cold tyres. Here comes Fabio Scherer, down the inside. Into Europol, up to fourth place, but there's the United car as well. Leader into the pit lane. Gerda van der Garde gesticulating, and in the background, are they going for a driver change? Now, what's happening here? They had a 5-second penalty they have served, and now there is a driver change. Hasn't got a radio, Guido's saying. So Ollie Jarvis gets back in. Number 2 United Autosport car coming in from the race lead. And that cycles Prema's 63 car into P1. Well, that was a real confused pit stop for the 23 United team.
No, I had no radio. So it was beeping all the time, so the battery must died in the car. I could not see anything, couldn't hear anything, didn't know where I was. We were leading, we had a gap like 8 seconds. And suddenly they come in and they want to change the driver. I did not know anything, so it was yeah, a big mess, but we're still hanging in there. I think Ollie did a good job before. I was quite quick now, so yeah, it's just a pity.
Oh, change for fourth place. That's Alessandro Pierguidi in the Ferrari. He's ahead of the grey Peugeot. Now, where did that happen? On board with Pierguidi, down to turn 5. There's Loic Duval. And with no brakes, he still somehow outbrakes Duval, and through he goes. Oh, trouble! Villeneuve! Villeneuve has gone off at the top of the hill. Double waved yellows. What's happened here? Oh, front brake explodes on the van wall. Luckily for Jacques, there is a long way to go off, and he's still got 3 brakes and just reverses into the barriers. But if that had been at turn 1, that would not have been funny at all. Villeneuve and the team, I think, got away with that. And there's Colin Collers. Safety car with an hour and 5 minutes to go.
I lost the front brakes. No front brakes. The front brakes gave up.
Copy. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yes, yes, but the front, well, one front brake blew.
Okay, if you can, bring the car to the garage.
I am in the tires, stuck in the gravel. Thank you, the engine doesn't start.
Also, I've got no brakes. Well, that's the end of the road, I'm afraid, for Van Wall for this race. Going back to green, the safety car pulls in. The number 8 Toyota will lead the field across the line in the final hour here in Portimao. And already cars heading into the pit lane. If they take on fuel now, they will make it to the end. Weaving to get temperature. There are the two Ferraris, nose to tail. And it's all action in LMP2. Goodness me, look at that cluster of cars fighting for supremacy. Final stop for the race leader.
So far, I would say we've done a perfect job. Yeah, just finished the last pit stop, so yeah, finger crossed for last 50 minutes.
Antonio Fuoco makes his final stop in the second-placed Ferrari. The battle for the podium between the number 6 Porsche, the 51 Ferrari, and the number 2 Cadillac. Oh, what happened? He pulled in at the other Ferrari team running the GT cars. LMP2 battle, WRT, the green and yellow of Inter Europol, and the 48 Hertz Jota car. The Jota car sliding wide. Antonio Felix da Costa, Fabio Scherer goes up inside him. Robin Freins keeps his nose in front briefly for WRT. Oh, look at that. Freins going one way and Scherer the other around the car guy's Ferrari. And Scherer with the shorter route. And look at there, there's the 48 car, Antonio Felix da Costa. Battle for second place, Phil Hansen chasing Ollie Jarvis. 63 Prema car, Danny Kvyat is leading in LMP2 at the moment. United Autosport challenging for 2 podium spots. Number 8 Toyota, a lap ahead of the entire field. Ferrari now up to second and third with that brake-hampered 51 car. Nicky Katzberg leads for Corvette in GTE Am. United Autosport and Team WRT in flying formation. 23 ahead of 22, then 41 ahead of 31. This is the battle for second place, basically. All 4 cars in the hunt. Jarvis and Hansen ahead of teammates Delatraz and Freins. But there is our leader, Prema's 63 car.
I took the start, so it was a good start, and I'm happy about my stint. Especially the second one, the pace was really good, and they did the job as usual, my teammates, and now we are, for sure the safety car doesn't help us because, yeah, we are in used tires, but I think Daniel is strong and he can manage well, so we will see, but fingers crossed.
22 United Autosports, the first in LMP2's front-running group to stop for fuel. Everybody else will stop later and therefore shorter because there'll be less fuel needed to make it through. Here's the leader, Daniel Kvyat. Just a quick check on the tyres from the Goodyear man. Supply the tyres to all the LMP2 cars, and here is United Autosport car number 22. Phil Hansen charging along the pit straight. Inter Europol are in the pits as well. Here comes the Prema car. Not enough. They're not going to be out fast enough. Hansen coming down the straight. The Toyota is going to be in the way a little. The number 7 car, it goes by safely, and Hansen moves ahead of 63. That is a significant change with less than half an hour of racing to go. And their teammates have seen it in Prema. Oh, trouble for the Ferrari. That's Alessandro Pierguidi from 3rd place. He's off at the hairpin. That's behind the paddock. Turns the car around through the gravel. Does he make it through? Yes, back on terra firma. Listen. Oh, shunting down the gearbox because the brakes aren't slowing him.
I think the front right disc is broken.
I think so, there's something wrong with me.
He's so calm. He's only got 1 brake left at the front, and that's where it went. Right front disc in turn 1. Louis Delatraz in 41. Oh, look, the GTE Am leader, Nicky Katzberg, almost getting caught up in the LMP2 battle. Delatraz moves up to 3rd place ahead of the 63 Prema car of Danny Kvyat. Aggressive stuff in this race from Louis Delatraz.
Okay, Andre, keep doing what you're doing. Keep the lap times fast. We may have had an issue with fueling. We might get a fuel alarm, and I need you to tell me if that happens.
That is not what Porsche want to hear. They may have short-fueled the car in the final stop. Alpine Charles Malaysia, 36, down the inside of Fabio Scherer. Scherer's running out of tyres and losing places in the Inter-Europol car, now down to 10th place. Alpine, though, have been nowhere all race. Into the pits, Andre Lotterer in Porsche's best-placed 963. And they do need more fuel, and that surely is going to rob them of a podium finish. It's all about learning these new cars for Penske Porsche. And Cadillac charging up from behind. Here comes Earl Bamber. Earl Bamber versus Andre Lotterer. Well, the Porsche comes out narrowly still in 3rd place. Here's the battle for the lead in GTE. Inside the final 10 minutes, the GTE Am leader, Nicky Katzberg, has been reeled in by Alessio Rivera. Michel Gatting some way back in 3rd place in the Iron Dames Porsche. But Katzberg, no answer to the pace of the Ferrari now. He has got to try and cling on. United Autosport cruising now out front. I don't think Ollie Jarvis will be challenged by Phil Hansen. They will hold station for a very strong 1-2. The 23 United car led in Sebring until electronic problems stopped it. Yoda van der Garde and Josh Pearson watching their car. Oh, lead battle here in GTE Am. Down the inside comes the Ferrari and the Glickenhaus, the light blue hypercar, just easing the Corvette out wide, but Nicky Katzberg recovers to hang on. Rivera is piling on the pressure now. Race leader heading towards the checkered flag. Brendan Hartley doing the final stints for the number 8 Toyota team. Disappointed in Sebring. They will take victory here in Portimao, but in GTE Am again, Alessio Rivera, last lap at the hairpin, has to go the long way. Nicky Katzberg guarded the inside line and still clings on. Out of the final turn will come Brendan Hartley in Toyota number 8, the world champions. They take their first win of the season. Toyota claim victory in Portimao in Hypercar. The 50 Ferrari will be in 2nd, and Penske and Porsche claim their first podium with 3rd position. But Toyota have again proved that they remain the team to beat.
Yeah, happy. It's been an awesome weekend from FP1 all the way through to now. I thought for car 7, they were keeping us honest. Actually, they overtook us at the start. We got back in front and then they had a problem. I'm quite sure that it would have been a tight finish again, as it always is between the two cars, so I thought for them, but for the team, yeah, big thanks.
A big result for United Autosport, 1-2 in Portimao. Victory going to car 23. Alessio Rivera in the Ferrari gave it everything, but victory in GTE Am went to the Corvette by meters. Ben Keating, Nick Varone and Nicky Katzberg, who clung on there to win it. They take their 2nd victory of the season. Toyota, Ferrari, Porsche, the 1, 2, 3. 5 brands in the top 5, and only Van Wall failed to make it to the flag. Hypercar has really come of age, and Porsche, with Roger Penske watching on, claim their first World Endurance Championship podium in the Hypercar era. Second in Sebring, victorious in Portimao. Sebastian Buemi, Rio Hirakawa and Brendan Hartley, the world champions, move into the points lead. Toyota, Ferrari and Porsche all had problems, but they also all had a podium, just ahead of the Cadillac and Peugeot. In LMP2, United Autosports went 1-2, and by inches, Corvette from pole took victory in GTE Am. Just 2 cars failed to finish. And there's barely time to draw breath because we race again in Spa in 2 weeks.